Hey everyone, welcome to Ajay and Nathan Discuss Movies, a show in which we discuss movies both old and new. Today we have a new movie out in theaters right now, and what is that movie title, Nathan?
Oh, it's Better Man, directed by Michael Gracey, I believe is his name.
Starring Robbie Williams.
Starring, yes, pop sensation Robbie Williams, who we all know is very well known.
Very well known.
Yeah.
Very well known. Okay. What's this movie about, Nathan?
Yeah, it's the story of British pop star Robbie Williams, not Robin Williams. Robbie Williams, it follows his story from a young age to being part of a pop group of other boys when he's a young man, and follows his story of stardom, the challenges it comes with, the drugs and the debauchery and the partying, and also he's a monkey throughout the entire movie. Also that little tidbit.
Wasn't he wearing a hat at one point when they were signing a contract that said something crazy?
I don't know. I thought it said like Northern Exposure, something like that. I don't know. It said something.
How did you feel about this movie, Nathan?
I had no expectations going into this movie because I had no idea who Robbie Williams is. And all I saw was it's about a pop star I don't know anything about, and he's being depicted as a monkey. And so I saw it, and I was shocked by how genuinely good it was. I really, really liked this movie. It took a while to, I guess, kind of set in, especially when it started, because it's like, oh, it's a monkey child and doing just all the normal music biopic beats. But as it goes along, the movie just kind of gets so big and so fantastical, it's hard to look away from, and I just, really enjoyed my time with it. It's shockingly very good. Ajay, what are your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I was the only one in the theater again.
Nice.
This time around, and I was like, okay, I'm in for a treat because it's a monkey. I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it mainly because it didn't feel like a biopic.
No, it didn't feel like a standard one.
No, it didn't feel like and this is the same director who made The Greatest Showman.
Mm-hmm.
I think he also executive produced or had some outlet or some input to the Elton John movie.
Oh, Rocket Man. Yeah, I was thinking a lot of Rocket Man while watching this.
Yeah, and overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie, fun watch. I mean, there are times where I just couldn't keep it together. I'm sorry, like when he's singing Sinatra with his dad. There are multiple times where he's doing it, maybe twice, where he's doing it. The first time, I couldn't keep it together. I really had to like take a step back and be like, this is a movie.
Yeah,
they decided to
sure is a movie.
They decided to give $100 million of a budget to this movie. Yeah, I mean it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I thought the performances were great, given what we were given, and I think the I won't say the issue, but a lot of it is the fact that I don't know Robbie Williams.
Yeah,
no one really knows who he is.
At least not here in the States. Like I'm sure he's a bigger thing over in like England, like to warrant enough fame to have a musical biopic about him. But I think right now the reception I'm seeing is from people who haven't seen it is, who's this guy? And people keep saying, why are they making a movie about Robin Williams?
And the thing about the movie is that like you understand who he is.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily understand the songs that made him so iconic to begin with, because I don't think the film does a great job in terms of showcasing the songs that Robbie Williams was able to do. I mean, obviously there are moments where the songs are being played, but at the end of the film they cap it off with Sinatra.
Yeah.
That's not a Robbie Williams song.
No, it's not.
I think it would have been a bit more appropriate for the final song to be a Robbie Williams song, to really set it in that, oh, this is his own man, it's his own vision that came to light. And now his dad and him are singing the song that he made. It didn't feel as if I was truly in there for the long ride.
Okay, I mean,
obviously I enjoy the film. To anyone who's mad at me for saying that, but I think there are times where I felt as if, like, I understand his life story, but I want to know more about the artist.
Well, I think maybe that's why the movie exists for people who, because frankly, I don't know, I liked it better kind of not knowing who this guy really was. And so everything about him, his personality, his showmanship, his songs, it was all new to me. And so when I'm listening to these songs, I'm like, wow, these are really good. Oh, this is him. This is the guy. And I don't know. It was, for me, I really enjoyed that I didn't know anything about him, and I could see the movie with just such a blank slate on who he was as a performer. And now I get to see who he is as a performer and who he is kind of as a person. And I think that's kind of a shame, because the movie is bombing so hard right now because no one's interested in seeing a movie about someone who they don't know, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, concerning. I think it's made less than 10 million in the box office.
Yeah,
and it's been there for nearly a month now.
Jeez. Oh.
So, I mean, this is what happens when you have a biopic on a person that not many people from America know, which is sad, but unfortunately that's the case.
Yeah, and obviously there's the angle of him as a monkey. Can we talk about that, the elephant in the room?
He's a monkey.
That is a monkey?
At times it felt a little shocking, because there are times where he's being romantically involved with an actual human.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't really come across as romantic. It comes across as like bestiality.
Yeah. I mean, initially when the movie starts, it is very weird and very jarring, but I got to this point while watching it where I wasn't really registering he's a chimp, he's an ape. It didn't register, and when it did, it was like kind of like oh wow, I've been really invested like emotionally in the story of this pop star, but he's on the screen being depicted as an anthropomorphic monkey man.
Yeah.
And it was weird. I think it really worked for the movie as a creative choice, because I think it opens the movie up to being much more fantastical and over the top, because a lot of the musical sequences especially are just so bombastic and kinetic. They're just full of energy and just such visual splendor. It's theatrical, and it really works for the movie. Like that first sequence, the first big one, the Rock the DJ song that's done in an entire like one shot through the streets of London, is like, it's staggering like how good it was. When that sequence hit, that's when I thought to myself, oh, this movie like really is, I think, kind of good. It's kind of really good right now, and it just progressively got better and better as it went along, I think.
Yeah, the shot selections were good. That was in one take, right?
Yeah, that was one take.
There was also another scene in which he's like beneath the water and he's trying to break the glass ceiling, and you just see a bunch of paparazzi just taking photos of him. I really like that shot as well.
Yeah, no, it's just
it was able to convey so much with so little, and I think that's a really good sign of the movie. Is that like, when I say so much with so little, I don't mean the dance numbers. I mean in terms of like the emotional weight of it, the dialogue, the way that the characters conversate with one another. The scene in which he's talking to the other boy band members, and he's like, and they tell him that he's no longer part of the band. There's not that much dialogue that happens, but there's an emotional weight behind it.
Yeah. It's just, the movie is so visual, and it really uses those visuals to help tell the story. It does what a musical should do, and it uses those big, bombastic musical numbers to tell its story and get those emotions across to the audience. One of the best sequences is when he meets his girlfriend for the first time, and there's this entire musical number with them on a boat, and the choreography is great, but we're also seeing like snippets of their relationship. It reminds me of like that opening like 10 minutes of the Pixar movie Up, where it's just a montage of this budding romance and the tragedy that is within that romance. And this movie does the same thing, and it was just so good, and it just felt so obvious, like, oh yeah, this is what you do when you have the music, when you use it to tell your story. You get fantastic sequences like this one with them falling in love and the eventual degradation of their relationship. And you also have later into the movie even bigger sequences that just go crazy.
Emotionally, that dance number between the two, it felt emotionally the opposite of the ending of La La Land.
Yeah. Yes.
Where it's like, oh, they actually do get together.
Yeah.
I think they broke up, but for that, I mean, hey, cool dance number.
Cool dance number. Cool dance number.
Cool
Great
romantic scene.
choreography. Yeah.
So, are you a big fan of musicals
I
or biopics? Because you don't seem like the type of guy that'd be into. Like, because our channel is mostly horror movies.
It is.
And Shyamalan love.
You know this guy? I know he's fine. He's fine. You hear this? This is M. Night Shyamalan.
And Shyamalan horror weird stuff. I like musicals like in general. Like I will go to a theater to see a musical. It's movie musicals that I feel like they never utilize the fact that they are a musical very well. I feel like a lot of movie musicals, they just put the music in front of you, they just put the singers in front of you, and they don't ever actually do anything really interesting with it. But I think there are a few movie musicals that really hit, that use the theatricality, the over-the-top nature of a stage musical to its advantage. I was thinking like Rocket Man does kind of the same thing. It goes so over the top, fantastical, and dreamlike with its musical sequences to help in telling its story and giving it a unique identity. I was thinking a lot of Baz Luhrmann, Moulin Rouge, because his direction, his editing of sequences is just so in your face, like at all times, turned up to 11. And that's what I felt a lot of while watching Better Man. So after this long ramble, to answer your question, I am skeptical of most movie musicals.
Yeah, I feel the same way, because there's this underlying thought where I'm like, yeah, this is just... It just feels as if you're just like doing this to get an award.
Yeah.
I feel like most musicals that directors do, I feel like it's a squeamish attempt to be taken seriously by the Academy or by whoever presents the awards. And that's sort of where like my suspicions lie. But I mean, I liked La La Land. You know, I thought La La Land was a great musical.
It's a good musical because it uses that music to tell its story, and all the dance numbers are so extravagant.
And in a lot of ways, this feels exactly like that, where that's a positive, where it feels like it can stand on its own 2 feet, and it was entertaining. I had fun watching it. You know, the dance numbers were great, the acting was amazing, it was stellar, the production work, the cinematography, all of it was great. Sound design, all of it was stellar. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they had to really make sure that people could really be invested in the character, despite us not knowing that much about it. And I think that's a testament to Robbie Williams and the people that are behind the project.
I also think, weirdly enough, I really started to love the choice of making him a monkey, because I think it helped, like, to empathize the viewer to him, because in the movie, like, it does the basic musical biopic of like, he's a bright young star, but when he gets into the music industry, he gets into drugs and all the dark stuff, and it does get very dark. But I feel like
tonally, when you saw him doing a line of coke, were you like scared of that, or did you find it funny?
The first time it was very funny. But as it goes on and the movie gets like a lot more sad with his mental issues and kind of what he struggles with, it starts to like, I was thinking like, if this were a person, like they would have to find like very much the correct actor to like very much keep my sympathies. But it's weird having him be
just get Austin Butler again, put him in another biopic. That's the only guy
that was the easy way.
It's a strange one. When I was doing press and I was in Japan for a second, and I flew back to LA, and then somebody called me and said, "What happened in Japan?"
Oh no.
And well, there's a headline that says that you knocked out Ezra Miller in Japan or something.
What?
And it completely untrue. I've never met them. So that was it was one of those that you just don't know where that kind of stuff comes from.
But no, having him as a CG monkey, it's like I was like watching it. I'm like, I like this ape. I want this ape to be my friend. When the ape is happy, I'm happy. When he was sad, I was very sad for him.
When he wore that pervert hat while getting signed.
Pervert hat. Oh, no, that's the hat you were talking about. He does just have a hat on him that says perverts.
He probably couldn't get away with that if he was a human. But because he's a monkey, he can. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a minute to remember. Oh yeah, he's a monkey throughout the entire movie. There was a moment near the end where he's like trying to clean himself up and he like shaves his head in the mirror, and I thought for a split second I got really scared, like, oh my god, please don't make him a person. Mm-hmm. Please don't like cut away from him and then cut back and it's the real Robbie Williams. That would make me so mad. But no, they kept the fact that he's a chimp throughout the entire thing, and I really do think it works. Like once you get through those first couple of scenes, you just slide right in, and most of the time you hardly notice. And then you really notice because he's getting a job in a nightclub, and you're like, that's crazy. Oh my god, he's a monkey!
Yeah. And then you just see like a cut to his manager. It felt very Amazing Spider-Man where you just see cuts of Dennis Leary. Leave Gwen out of it.
Except Andrew Garfield was never beating his meat to Dennis Leary.
So we're well into spoilers.
Yeah, we're well into it, I'd say.
So we can talk about the ending where he sings with his dad. It's a duet. It's very powerful. Yeah. It's a callback to them doing it when he was younger, and they do Sinatra My Way. I felt like at that point in the movie, just make him a person. I think it would be great because it's Better Man. It's called Better Man.
Yeah.
Once he becomes Robbie Williams the human, he becomes the better man.
He has completed his arc, and now he is a better man. Now he no longer has to be monkey.
Yeah. I think that would. I know that's a little like cheesy or poetic, but I think it would have been better if you had like a cut to his dad and then a cut to Robbie Williams as the monkey, but now it's Robbie Williams as the man, and then they embrace warmly, and they ride off into the sunset.
Yeah,
as great father, manager / son as an artist.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. I disagree. Maybe I just like monkeys. They're my favorite animal, but
are they?
Yeah, they're one of them. But I feel like it would take a lot away from like who we've grown with throughout the movie. It would kind of be a shock to the audience, like, oh, the person who I've been... It would be a more shock to the audience if the monkey was suddenly a person. I'm thinking like, it's like the Beauty and the Beast effect. Like, we spend the entire movie with the Beast, getting to know the Beast, and we love the Beast. And when he turns into a human at the end, you're kind of like, oh, I miss the Beast. Go back to the Beast. I think it's just a weird psychological thing with people where we get used to the weird thing to the point it's not weird anymore, so then we go back to the normal thing.
We didn't like
and
skinny
that is
Jonah
weird.
Hill. We hated skinny Jonah Hill. We wanted him to be fat Jonah Hill. That's what it sounds like.
When the Beast turns back into a human, it's Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Honestly, that would have been a hilarious ending. You do a cut.
So funny. She's like, oh, no, be the Beast again. I don't like this. Sorry, Jonah, get on the pod.
Yeah, get on the pod, Jonah. We're big with industry. We're the Josh Horowitz of the Boston comedy movie scene. We're the Josh Horowitz. We love Josh Horowitz on this pod. But anyways, back to the review.
Yeah, no. I knew his Robbie Williams' dad was a bag when I saw he was doing stand-up at a bar. I'm like, no, this guy could... Not only is he neglecting his kid, but he's doing it for stand-up. No worse scum than a stand-up comedian.
How did he feel about the Liam Gallagher actor?
That was hilarious. It was so funny. When he's like, it's Oasis. and he's like, he does like a line of coke off a woman's breast and then like goes back to shooting pool. And he's like, Robbie Williams, you
You wanker, you stupid wanker. Go back to your sisters.
Hey, Twinkle Toes, you coming with us?
Yeah. We're gonna talk to Dumbledore next week. You want to come over? You want to hang out with the big boys, you little chap?
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. It was a weird impression.
It was.
And I'm saying this as a guy that's not the biggest fan of Oasis, but it felt like they could have had a little, like, my nitpick for the movie is I feel like that actor could have been a little bit better with his impression.
I was fine with it. I don't have any love for Oasis, so whatever. I think we should talk about the third act, that entire sequence when he gets to Nebwith.
Is that the festival?
The British music festival.
Yeah, I like that because there's like a montage of him slaying the demons in his mind.
Yeah, his own demons. Yeah, throughout the movie, there's this motif of kind of his self-esteem. He doesn't have a great self-esteem, and so when he's in crowds, when he's doing his thing, he'll see like flashes of his past selves just like kind of looking at him, and you'll hear their voices and they're just like egging him on to fail. And so when we get to that final that musical festival, I was like punching my fist into the air because I was not expecting it to be a full-blown like fight scene to break out where he is literally fighting his own demons like with a sword. When he decapitates one of his like personas that's like doesn't have any flesh, I practically shit my pants. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. I think at that moment it kind of cemented my love for the movie. I'm like, this is so wild, so insane. Like having a musical number that is essentially just like a giant Lord of the Rings battle. And then we hard cut from that to, oh, this is him like incredibly suicidal right now. It was just such the highest of tonal shifts. Like we start here and then immediately we're like down low. And it was just so, it really made the entire movie just like, oh, it's all come together now. I think I love this.
That was when you realize that, oh, like, This is its own character.
Yeah.
This is himself being who he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful thing.
How he sees himself and how he deals with himself. It's so wild, the tonal shifts, but they're so they work because the movie is so.
I'm surprised
over the
it's
top.
Not doing as well as it should be.
Yeah, no, and again, I think it all just comes down to like no one over here knows who Robbie Williams is.
Like what is the maddest thing a fan has given you or done or whatever?
Herpes.
I have to stop myself from saying Robin. No one knows who Robbie Williams is. And again, I think it's a shame because I think even if you don't, you should still see the movie because it gives you a pretty good idea of who he is, his story. The music is fantastic. I keep thinking
the editing is good.
Yeah.
We're looking at you, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. It's not directed by a file.
Yeah.
You'll have to cut that out.
What do I?
I don't know. YouTube algorithm doesn't like files.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is like musical biopics, they all hit the same beats because all the stories are basically like, I was a young man with talent. He was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and then he entered the music industry. He was the new hip thing, and then I got into drugs and the dark period of his life, and then brought himself back up. Like this movie, Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, they all hit the same story beats. I think it's just about like how do you choose to tell that story, and do you use like this character or this person's like natural charisma and showmanship like to the highest level possible? Do you utilize their talents and like get those across on screen to the viewer? And I think that's something Better Man, and by extension like Rocket Man, they both do. They're both so extravagant and over the top. They're full of like color and just such amazing musical sequences. They capture your eye, and they just capture your mind, and like you're along for the ride.
I think that's the perfect way to. Well, let's wrap up our thoughts on this.
Yeah, wrap up our thoughts real quick. Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I enjoy. I mean, I gotta stop saying overall. That's my New Year's resolution on the podcast. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was fun. It was entertaining. The fact that they made him a monkey was great. It reminded me of George Michael's song "Monkey." So for any Brits that are across the pond, that song is chef's kiss. It's amazing. That's one of the few great things that your country has given us is George Michael.
Thanks, guys.
We love George Michael on the pod. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I was highly entertained. The dance numbers were great. There was a lot of great imagery in this movie as well, especially with the glass ceiling being broken as he was trying to get out. Yeah, I mean, at first it was tough to kind of sit with the idea that we're going to watch a monkey for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That sings and is a heartthrob and gets women.
Yeah.
But over time, you fall in love with the story, with the characters, and the fact that, and I know that this biopic is one of pizzazz and colors and all that, but in all honesty, like it's able to tell so much with so little.
Yeah.
And I thought the direction that this director put this movie through was stellar, and the fact that it's bombing the box office is kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies out right now. A lot of good movies out right now.
Yeah, and especially for January of a new year, you got some good choices.
So I'm surprised to see that this movie it's not getting the same lore or praise as, say, other biopics that are out right now.
Yeah, a Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing that movie, Last Showgirl.
Oh, yeah.
Baby girl. Baby girl.
Oh, yeah, baby. You lost baby girl? Yeah.
And also The Brutalist. I'm probably going to have to watch it over 4 or 5 day increments, but I will watch it.
Watch it as a mini series. Yeah.
So those are my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, to wrap up, Better Man. It was an unexpected delight. I think musicals are slowly coming back. I think Wicked did well. This movie isn't doing well, but it's a well-made musical.
Musicals are coming back. Only
Except
Wicked.
Except they aren't really. But no, I just think it uses all the tools in its toolbox. It tells an engaging story. That's
a musical?
That too is a musical.
They do Transgender Operation, and it's pretty funny. It's a hilarious movie. I'm sorry. Like, when people say, I hate Amelia Perez, I'm like, I think the people that made it are in on the joke. I think it's pretty funny. I'll show you after the pod, the Transgender Operation.
I just know there's a scene where he's like, penis to vagina. That's all I know.
That's the song.
Okay, cool.
I think that's the chorus.
Anyway, to wrap up my thoughts on Better Man, I think it's a fantastic movie musical. I think it's a very well done biopic. The fact that he's a monkey, it's more than just a gimmick. I think it really helps to tell that story and get you in touch with these very complicated emotions that the movie has to deal with, its subject matter. It's just such a great time in the movies to go see. It's a shame it's not making more money, but that's what happens. Robbie Williams, you're wonderful now that I know who you are. You should be allowed to do coke without feeling bad about it. Better Man.
So those are our thoughts on the movie.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Did you see it? Will you go
watch
see it?
Will you do a double feature?
Are you just going to sit in a theater and flick your bean to Timothée Chalamet for the 900th time?
Yeah. What biopic should there be on musicians?
And what animals should they be?
Yeah.
What animal should Prince be? I think a wombat.
A wombat? Justin Timberlake?
He would be a moose.
A moose? And the cop that pulls him over is a pig?
Of course he is.
I think there should be a live animation musical on Justin Timberlake's life.
Yeah?
I think that would go well.
But he's a moose.
Yeah, live action. Open season. Open season. Great film. Make it about Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are our thoughts.
Those are our thoughts.
As the film would say, go f*** yourselves.
Go f*** yourselves.
And we'll see you next week. We don't know because Nathan has an update.
No, I don't. It's no one's business. It's my business. What the would I tell these people?
No worries. Okay. We'll omit that from the pod.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, those are our thoughts, and we'll see you on next week.
Sometime
Sometime in the future. Bye.